All right, welcome everybody. This is the Brad Sans Squeeze Show. The Brad and Squeeze Show. I must have. Well, we're live on the air. Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are, Mr. Squeeze.
Do you want to switch seats?
Mr. Squeeze, we are live. No, he'll sit over there. All right, so we're starting the Brad and Squeeze Show.
With Squeeze.
I'm with Squeeze. I'm glad I got the memo that Squeeze was showing up. Would have been nice to have told that 5 minutes ago. But it's okay.
We missed that at the production meeting.
We missed that at the production meeting because we actually sat here and did a production meeting without you. But it's okay. So anyway, this is the Brad and Squeeze Show. Welcome, everybody. You're listening on WVIP 93.5 FM. We're also listening on multi platforms all over the internet, including David Squeeze Annakie on Facebook, including Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein on Facebook, including Brad Bernstein's personal page, Brad Bernstein's profile page. There's two different pages now, apparently, on Facebook, as well as YouTube. I have David Moreno here. David Moreno is one of our fabulous criminal defense attorneys. I have David Squeeze Annakie here. Looks like in a really bad mood. And I don't know why he's in such a bad mood. I got strong, manly guy Kyle here. He is going to report in a few minutes if anybody has accepted his marriage proposals from the 9 o'clock show. We have social media guru Kim, who's sharing like a fiend right now. We're going to ask everybody to please share the feeds everywhere you're watching. I got Spielberg Jr., who is out of the doghouse. He's allowed to participate in the show. What happened this morning, Squeeze, is Spielberg Jr. saunters in at 9:30, and then he thought he could just start participating. He can't if he's 30 minutes late, so he was barred from participating, and then he looked really sad in the corner, like he got in trouble. But now he's okay. 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-529-5465. That is the number to call to get on the radio. The reason I have, by the way, David Moreno in here in the early part of the show instead of the later part is two. One, he's doing court, so he can't do the later part, but it's really important that he comes on because I don't know if you saw the news articles this morning, Mr. Annakie. I actually even posted it on your Facebook page, but that overnight, ICE officials came into the New York City area. It's in the Daily News. It's on multiple news channels, multiple news sources. Overnight, ICE came in and did raids overnight, arresting people who were here out of status, people who perhaps had orders of deportation. We're not exactly sure how all of these different raids came down, but they individually targeted over 100 people in a several-hour period overnight last night, and we're here to discuss that a little bit.
Why? Nobody listens to Squeeze? What do you think I was yelling about yesterday?
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I knew about it.
Where did this happen again?
It happened in the New York City area.
Okay.
Your friend?
All across New York City.
Yeah.
Your friend told me. She told me.
Which friend?
That it was going to happen.
Which friend?
And that's the reason why I was yelling.
What friend?
Your friend that knows their friends in the friends.
That's not true. Come on. You know what? Don't even say that.
I'm not talking to somebody here.
No, but I don't.
I know.
No, you don't. And don't say that because it's not true. Nobody knows. Nobody knew it was going to happen.
Yes, they do.
Right. You can only anticipate that eventually it's going to happen.
No. As a matter of fact, there's nothing even wrong with them telling people. They have been telling people. I'm not bullcrapping. I'm serious.
Okay. I don't know.
I
did not know last night when I left here at 6 o'clock that ICE was going to be rounding up over 100 people overnight. I didn't know that.
They're
Doesn't matter if we knew or not.
Right,
it happened.
okay. It happened. Let's deal with it. Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And it's going to happen again next week.
Okay, and I have David Moreno here. To discuss what your rights are when you're walking down the street. Maybe you're not in legal status. Maybe you have a green card. Maybe you have no visa status. We don't know. But this is important stuff that everybody should not only be listening to. This is important stuff that everybody should be telling their friends and family right now to listen to. Sharing it on their feeds. Calling them up. If you're listening in the radio, listen, this is important stuff. Okay? Anybody who thought just because Donald Trump hasn't made a tweet about immigration in 3 months that everything is cool is obviously very, very mistaken. Everybody who thinks that they haven't seen in the news anything about a wall is sorely mistaken. Anybody who thinks they rode in the subway in the last month and they haven't seen ICE officials in their fancy ICE uniforms, so that means everything is okay, they are also sorely mistaken, and they're going to be very sore if it's them who gets picked up. They're going to be very, very sore if it's their family member who gets picked up, or their fiance, or their children, or their friends, or their coworkers.
Can I ask an obvious immigration question?
Yes.
I think a lot of listeners are probably wondering. Brad, what happened to all of the speak about New York being a sanctuary city? How were they able to do this?
Well, I think they were able to do this because New York City is a sanctuary city. So what New York City says is, if we are the police officers, okay, or the court officers, we are not going to automatically hand somebody over to ICE because a local police officer has come in contact with somebody who is out of status. The schools are not going to call Immigration Service or ICE because there's a child who is getting educated in that school who they know happens to be out of status. That's what a sanctuary city means. A sanctuary city means that the local officials that you come into contact with on a daily basis, whether it's your local police officer on the beat, whether it is your local school official, your principal of your school, your teacher, the court officer in the court, they are not going to automatically contact the Immigration Service and say they came across somebody who is here out of status, go pick them up.
So that does not include ICE, clearly.
Right. Now, ICE is federal. Mr. de Blasio, the mayor of New York City, cannot tell ICE what to do. The only person who can tell ICE what to do is ICE's boss. And ICE's boss is Trump. Okay? Trump can tell ICE what to do. So Trump says, go arrest people. All right? Trump says, there's a lot of news about Russia and me. I want that out of the news. You know what's a good way to get Russia out of the news? Let's go have ICE arrest people. That's what's happening. So for people who think that they're safe, for people who think everything's good, everything's back to the pre-Barack Obama days, or we like to refer to as the good old days. Can you imagine the good old days, which is only 6 months ago? Usually it was like 20, 30, 40 years ago. So everyone who thinks it's, back to the good old days, everything is good, are very, very sorely mistaken.
I'm so glad you clarified that because I can't tell you how many clients I've had come in here over the last 3-4 months that said, oh, I'm fine. This is a sanctuary city. I have nothing to worry about. I think there are a lot of people out there that just did not understand what that meant. So thank you for clarifying.
And I think they purposely went into the largest sanctuary city in North America to make an example, to say nobody's safe. Just because de Blasio says it's a sanctuary city doesn't mean you're safe. It just means that the local police, the local officials that you come across, your school officials, your police officials, your court officers, they are not going to contact immigration just because they discover you are here illegally or out of status. Court clerks, that type of thing. That's what a sanctuary city means. A non-sanctuary city means that you send your kid to school and the principal is empowered to go call immigration and say, we have an illegal student here, go pick him up. A non-sanctuary city means that if you call the police because you're getting abused by your spouse and you're illegal and the abuser says, hey, my wife's illegal, the police are going to arrest the woman who's getting beat up and hand her over to ICE.
It's a terrible thing.
Terrible thing. I mean, that won't happen here in New York City, but that doesn't mean that ICE won't be on the streets, and it doesn't mean they won't go knock on your door.
I've got kind of, I think, a layperson question. Once ICE does this roundup and places them in deportation, I'm assuming, what happened to those 100 people? Like, are they back on a plane this morning to their home country?
No, it depends. It depends. If they are living here with warrants for their arrest, meaning Well, let me take that back. If they are living here with orders of deportation, that means there is a warrant for their arrest. They're going to sit in jail, and they're going to be sent home because they got ordered deported and they never left. Because years back, a lot of times people would get ordered deported and wouldn't leave, and ICE would just forget about them. Not because they didn't want them to leave. It's just they were either incompetent or understaffed or whatever it is. They just never looked for them. It's possible that these are people who have criminal records that have come across ICE's radar, that they say these people should be deported but have not been. Then they're going to sit in jail. They have to see an immigration judge. They have to go, hopefully have their family members contact us, and we fight out a deportation case. It is also possible that you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, because when ICE comes to go arrest Johnny, and Johnny's wife is out of status but has done nothing wrong and is not on their radar, but they just happens to be sitting there in the house with Johnny, guess what? Johnny's wife is also getting arrested. Okay? It's also possible that you could be walking down the street right next to Johnny's house. And as they're about to go into Johnny's house, so they're bringing Johnny out of the house, they say, "Who the hell are you? Let me see your paperwork." And you say, and you hand them something. "Oh, you're out of status too? You know what? We got plenty of room in the paddy wagon. Let's take this person too."
That's amazing.
So David Moreno is here because two things. One, unless you don't have to step out of your house. And you don't have to let them in your house, right?
No.
What is the law regarding that?
It's simple. The police officer, you don't have to come outside unless they have a warrant for your arrest. You don't have to let them in your home unless they have a warrant to search your home. So it's very clear. A police officer comes to your house, comes to your door.
What if they want to arrest you, but they don't have a warrant to search your home? They can't come in.
They can't.
They cannot come in.
They cannot come in. It's two different things.
Unless you invite them in.
Unless you invite them in. And if you invite them in and they see anything while they're in there, it's fair game. Meaning
Right.
they can use it against
So let's say you have an order of deportation.
Okay.
And they know you have a warrant for your arrest. They don't have a search warrant for your home, but they have a warrant for your arrest. They come knock on your door. "Johnny, we know you're in there. Come on out or let us in. There's a warrant for your arrest." And what can Johnny say?
Johnny can say, I'm not coming outside at this time. You can get a warrant to come in my home, or I'm coming out, but I'm closing my door behind me. You can't come in my home. Those are his two options.
Right.
Or he can just wait it out.
Because Johnny can come out and close the door and then save everybody else in the house.
Correct. And if you are in a situation where you are, in a home with people that are clearly out of status, and there is an arrest warrant for you alone, you'd be doing everybody you're with a huge favor by just going out. Go
out because they're going to surround your house. They're not going to let you out. They're
Well,
going to starve. They're going to starve you out.
No, eventually they'll just get a warrant,
Right.
a search warrant. "Listen, Judge, we've got an arrest warrant for this guy.
This guy's not coming out.
He's not coming out. We know he's in there. We want language in this warrant that allows for us to break the door down and go in." And a judge will give it to him as long as they can articulate that they have probable cause he's in there. He's already spoken to them. They know he's there.
Right. Now, what if you have a situation? What if you're a situation now, you're walking down the street? Because there's a lot of people now who read this article, who see what's going on, sees Trump is trying to, stir up some issues now all of a sudden. Because it was very quiet for a little bit. Squeeze said, "Quiet's not going to last forever."
I've been saying it.
He said the quiet's not.
Nobody listens.
He said Squeeze was telling me actually the other day. He goes, this is the quiet before the storm. Like right before the hurricane comes, and it's very quiet, and it's a little breeze, and it's nice, and everyone goes surfing, and it's really cool. And then the hurricane. He was just telling me this the other day.
And here we are.
I didn't know it was going to happen. Apparently, Squeeze knew. So
It's going to be a tsunami real soon.
Maybe yes, because they're in the process of hiring 10,000 more people. You're going to see this happening on a day-after-day basis now.
If I were Trump, I would create all the distractions in the world right now.
Exactly.
And what is the biggest distraction you can create right now in the United States?
Round up the
Immigration.
immigrants.
Get everybody
That's right.
going against each other.
That's right.
I mean, the laws are already on the books. They're already there.
Yeah, but not only that, when you have problems, you got to blame your problems on somebody else.
Exactly.
There's always a
Point the finger
There's
on their
always a
side.
scapegoat.
Well,
All right. Because it's never your fault.
Right.
It's always somebody else's fault.
But what does this
Right?
mean for the people out of status? What should they be doing?
Well-
that is a question.
Well, they need to be figuring out how to get into legal status.
And how do they
And
do
they
that?
also need to be also figure out two things. They need to figure out how to get into legal status, and they need to figure out how to protect themselves to the best of their abilities. They can't be locked in their home all day. You're not going to be terrified to come out of your house. It's not worth it to live in America if you're scared to walk out your door. So you have to be able to walk out your door and live your life, but at the same time, take precautions and do certain things that you know will protect yourselves to the best of your ability. You never want to be picked up by anybody.
Yeah.
So what would that be, Mr. Moreno?
Well, I think you would just get into a situation where you have someone that's walking down the street and they're approached by a police officer, or in this situation, an ICE officer. Excuse me. So the first thing, when you're on the street and you're approached by law enforcement, the only thing you're required to give them is your predicate information. They ask you for your name, you have to give them that. Right. They start questioning you about anything else, where you going, where you coming from. Your first question to the police should be, am I free to go? Okay?
This is not only a local police officer, this could be an ICE officer as well. And I just want to say one thing and just add a little twist to what Mr. Moreno is saying over here. I want to put a little twist on.
Sorry.
I want to put a little twist on what Mr. Moreno is saying here. Your rights in terms of dealing with an ICE officer are drastically different whether you're within 100 miles of a border or beyond 100 miles of a border. You have very limited, if no rights, within 100 miles of a border. In fact, I would argue to every person out there who has an immigration issue, you should not even be crossing within 100 miles of a border. You shouldn't be living within 100 miles of a border, because ICE has the right to search you and check to see if you are out of status or not, or you have an immigration issue, because what the law says is, it's presumed that if you're caught within 100 miles of a border and you're out of status, that you just ran across the border. If you make it,
you got to make it clear. You said the right. You got to make it clear that regardless of whether or not they're in their house or wherever, they have the right. They can just do it.
Correct.
Some people might think, they have the right, but they can't come in their house. But once you live within the 100 miles,
they can do whatever the
hell they want.
That's right. Yeah. Now so what's going to happen is once people get once you get millions of people listening to the Brad and Squeeze show, and they hear me say that time and time again, you're going to get everybody moving to the center of the United States. Okay, so now all the people in Iowa who've never met an immigrant in their entire life,
right,
but who voted for Trump to say
Wisconsin.
get rid of the immigrants, the joke's on them. They're getting all the immigrants. Think about it, right? And they're going to say Trump did a terrible job. Now we got immigrants here. But that's what you have to do. Now New York City is beyond 100 miles of a border. So ICE, what David Moreno is saying is ICE can't just come over to you and say, give me your documents. If you're in Buffalo, New York, near the border, they can do that. If you're in Detroit, Michigan, they can do that all day long in Detroit, Michigan. Probably Seattle, Washington, I think, is within 100 miles of the Canadian border, is my guess. I don't know. But I would say they can probably do it in Seattle, too. Or Oregon, for sure, right?
Yeah, seems like it.
Right.
Oregon.
But New York City's different because we're beyond 100 miles of the border. All right. So what happens New York City? What happens Miami? What happens in, I don't know, let's pick another city that's Philadelphia, Boston.
Chicago.
I don't know, Chicago near the border? I don't think so.
It's near the lake. I mean, the lake is huge.
Yeah.
New Mexico.
I don't know.
Yeah.
New Mexico's near a border, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about outside of the 100-mile radius.
Yeah, outside of the 100-mile radius, your approach, you don't have to answer any questions. Where you going? Where you coming from? Who's this person? Who's that person? You simply ask them, am I free to go? If they say yes, you keep it moving. If they say no, the very next question out of your mouth should be, am I under arrest? If the answer to that question is yes, the next question out of your next statement out of your mouth should be, I want a lawyer. I'm telling you all of this in a very abbreviated form.
What if somebody from ICE, because this is what everybody always concerned about when they come in to me, especially in that March time when Trump was tweeting, I'm coming for you. All right? Just wait till Trump starts tweeting,
still
I'm
coming for you.
He's still coming for you.
Still coming
he just
for you.
didn't let you know that ahead of time. He didn't tweet it. What happens if you're walking down the street? All right, you're on Flatbush Avenue. Remember those times months ago, Squeeze, when we were taking calls on the air? They're on the trains in Flatbush. They're walking to hospitals at Jamaica Hospital. They were really doing it.
Disgusting.
Okay? What happens if we come back to that point? Because I think it's going to come back.
It is going to
Okay?
happen. It's definitely going to happen.
Okay, all right. Well, now we come back to that point, and everybody wants to know. ICE comes to me. I'm walking down the street. Maybe I'm a citizen. All right, just because I have color or I look Asian.
No, you don't.
I'm just saying hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Okay, I look Asian or whatever it may be. What do I do? How do I respond to them? They say, "Hey, give me your documents. You look like an illegal alien."
You can refuse.
Absolutely,
have the right to refuse.
you refuse and say, "I wouldn't even respond to them."
And then what happened?
Keep walking. Just walk away.
So you're resisting arrest.
You're not resisting arrest.
Not under arrest?
You're not under arrest. They haven't done anything. Somebody said to you, it's like they have as much power, ICE, to walk down the street and ask to see your passport as David Squeeze Annakie has the same amount of power to walk down the street and say, "Hey, Moreno, let me see your passport." Okay? David Squeeze Annakie was walking down the street and went over to a stranger and said, "Hey, let me see your passport." What would you do as a stranger? You would just be like, "Who's this crazy person? I'm going to keep walking."
Well, the thing is, they hope that they catch folks that don't know their rights.
Exactly. But it's the same thing. Now, if you're stupid enough to hand over your passport, oh, you're here illegally, now I got you.
I don't mean to leave abruptly, but I have to
Yeah,
get
I
to
know, I
court.
understand that. All right, but David Moreno has to go to court, but I do have to remind everybody, the court he's going to is a criminal court.
Correct.
Okay? When you have serious criminal issues and you need your rights protected, I brought him in here because he is a master of knowing what your rights are. A former district attorney who is now helping people protect their rights. If you have a problem with criminal cases, you have a problem with being stopped in the street, you have a problem with concerns about what your rights are, call David Moreno. You have some serious issues going on out there. I'm seeing people getting arrested. We have clients getting arrested for serious federal cases. We have clients being arrested for... We had a client being arrested last week who was not even involved in anything, came and talked to me, all right, about insurance fraud case, Squeeze. After talking about it, I go, "Why are you even involved in this?" He goes, "I don't know." He was just working at the place, but he had nothing to do with it. So I can't talk more about it, but when you have serious criminal cases... You need serious criminal lawyers, and David Moreno is off to seriously go represent somebody in court.
Thank you, Brad.
He's got to run. He's like, "I can't sit here one more second. The judge will yell at me."
Like he's going to play
Right?
basketball. He's so tall.
He is very tall. He does play basketball. All right. 1-800-529-5465. We're going to get back to our immigration segments now. 1-800-529-5465. Yes, Squeeze. And I wanted
And you can't say master, and you can't say expert, and you can't say that.
That is correct.
Just
That is
trying
true.
to
Thank
tell
very
you
much.
as an attorney
Yes,
that
thank
you
very
can't
much.
say that about.
That is very true.
All right.
Yes.
Just thought that.
Right. He is neither one of those, but he seems to know what he's doing.
He's good.
Yes, very good.
All
Very,
right.
very good. All right, so I thought it was important that we start the show that way, Squeeze.
I think it's important that everybody understand that ICE is out there, and ICE never stops. They never went to sleep. Okay, this is the ice that never melts. Okay, it's always there waiting to freeze your asphalt off. So every one of you out there that thought that Donald Trump went to sleep, he did not. He's coming back with this big, major immigration issue. And every single one of you out there that have not spoken with Brad, met with the managing attorneys, you should be doing so right now. So here's what I'm going to say to you right now. This is Squeeze, and I'm a very serious man today, as I am every single day. Pick up your phone, call the only law firm that I know in this country that can truly, genuinely, in my opinion, help you solidly and is a good law firm. I have seen and heard many other law firms, and I can't vouch for any of them, and I'm not saying anything negative about them. All I'm saying, you know, many of you have heard me on this radio station for close or just about 20 solid years. Yeah, 20 years. And you know, I have spent more time with this attorney than any other attorney. All right. So right now, every single person out there that is out of status, or you know someone that is out of status, or you have an issue, pick up your phone, call Spar and Bernstein, book an appointment. Sooner or later, you will see these ICE guys in your neighborhood. Make sure you make that call right now. And I do not want anything to happen to people out there, especially, yeah, fine. We know people out there do not have green cards. We're aware. You definitely should be calling Brad. But also people who have green cards should be calling, especially if you have ever been arrested, especially if you are not a citizen. Pick up the phone and make the call. And this is not to scare anyone. This is just the truth. The number to call right now is 1-800-529-5465. That is 1-800-529-5465. Doesn't matter where you are in the United States. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. And if you're outside of the United States, the number is 212-227-8933. That's 212-227-8933. Want to go to Tanya?
Yes, please. Tanya, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Tanya.
Good morning. I have a question. I came to the U.S. last year, in Atlanta rather. I was denied entry, so they canceled my visa and give me 5 years to come back in the country. I have a baby father over there. He is a U.S. citizen. I have a son for him. He wants to do a legal marriage. I don't know what's the procedure of coming back there before 5 years.
Why were you stopped at the airport? What was the problem?
They stopped me and they said they have record of me that I've worked there. And I stayed 3 months there. I got 6 months and I stayed 3 months and they said I worked.
Was that true or not true?
Well, actually, I was helping out my
so it's true. So it's true.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is the deal. Obviously, you can't come on a visitor's visa to work, and they discovered it, and they sent you home, and basically you got deported at the airport. So now, if your spouse wants to go file for you, you need 2 waivers to return to the United States. Okay. Besides the fact that he has to go through the whole process. 1 waiver is to return to the United States after an order of deportation. It's called the 212 waiver. All right, you have to be able to show that the reasons why you should not be allowed to return are less than the reasons to come to America, which is, family unity, be with your spouse, you have a child together, et cetera, et cetera. Then you need a second waiver. That waiver is a 601 waiver, not because you got deported, but because of the reason why you got deported, which was you lied to the government. You said you were coming here to visit, you were a tourist, when in fact you were working here. Whether it was working part-time, for a day, a week, if you got paid $10, you're deported. Okay? About a year ago, we had a woman from London who, she came over from London. Mm-hmm. Okay? She was a tourist. She was going to visit her boyfriend. They have these clubs, and they have not strip clubs, but like clubs, like clubs that you would go to, and they have women who kind of like dance on the bars just for like as part of the part of the
promo girls,
whatever.
Go-go dancers.
No,
dancers.
Promo girls.
Not strippers, but like
promo girls.
Whatever they are.
They're just there just to make the club look good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So she got paid like $50 or $100 or something. So when she comes in, they go, "You're coming in a lot. Are you working?" Mm-hmm. She goes, "No." They go, "Did you ever work?" Mm-hmm. And she says, "Oh yeah, once I think I got paid like $100 to go dance on a bar or something." And they deported her.
Okay.
All right. So I mean, for that, that little thing. So you're going to need a waiver for misrepresentation for coming on a visa and working. And that's based on extreme and unusual hardship to your spouse. That he would suffer an extreme and unusual hardship if you guys were not united. Now, we're very good at that, but there's never a guarantee that you get these things approved. But certainly there's a way, there's a pathway for you, but you're going to need really good lawyers. By happen chance, just by coincidence, you're talking to really good lawyers.
Yes, just by coincidence.
Okay.
And that coincidence happens every day.
All right.
1-800-529-5465. Stay on the line.
Hold on one second.
All right. Once again, folks, this is the Brad Squeeze Show. Make sure you stay tuned in. We're going until about 1 o'clock today. The number to call is 1-800-529-5465. Ice alert. Ice alert. And it's not melting. Let's go to Green. Hello, whomever this is.
Paul.
Your turn.
Paul.
Yeah, Paul, what's up?
Yeah, we're going to Squeeze. A quick question. I have a family member where they have she's a citizen.
What?
But,
wait, family member that's a citizen.
You got to do me a favor and move. Just take a step one way or the other because you're breaking up.
All right. You hear me now?
Now I hear you better. Yeah, now much better.
Yeah, she's a citizen.
Oh, he stepped into the dead zone.
What's up? Nothing?
Yeah, you're.
All right, you know what I'll do? I'll call you back.
Call me back. All right,
all
that
right,
sounds
no
like a good
problem.
idea.
All right, so that's Paul right there.
Yeah,
We're going to wait for him to call back. But let's,
Paul is going to walk into a better area.
he was on the dark side.
He was,
He's
yes.
going to walk into the light.
Yeah.
And if he can't find signal, he can also submit his questions through our Facebook feed.
Very
Yes.
good. Very
And
good.
YouTube.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Don't
walk
into the light.
Marissa,
Hi, good afternoon.
how are you?
Good afternoon,
I'm
Melissa.
good. I'm calling because I have a question. I filed for my green card under abuse in 2015 through Campbell Legal Services because I wasn't aware what to do. I was married for 4 years, and I've been abused. We lived together for like 6 months. He beat me up, and I just can't take it anymore.
Wow.
Can't blame you.
Wow.
I have police report order protection. I have like probably 8 police report order protection.
So there's no question, factually, this all happened.
Right.
Okay, so
they deny me.
Why?
In this year,
Why?
I think it was May, the end of May, I got a
Why?
letter saying they deny me because the marriage was fake. And,
How could the marriage be fake, but he's beating you up every day?
Exactly.
That makes no sense.
So the lawyer decided that they're going to refile because they give me some time to appeal the case.
No, you don't appeal. You refile and do it right.
So I wanted to know, maybe it's best for me to find my own lawyer instead
I
of
think
these.
so. I think so, and I'll tell you why. All right. I mean, if you've been beat up and you've had the police come 8 times to your home or 7 times to your home, how could the marriage be fake if the police saw you and this man living together and you beat up on 7 different occasions? How is that a fake marriage? So, I'm not sure what the lawyers didn't do, but to me, it's illogical what's going on, and I think you should, at the barest minimum, have a second opinion and take a look at this. So hold on 1 second, okay? All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once again, folks, this is the Brad and Squeak Show. We're answering immigration questions. And we just spoke earlier with David Moreno, one of our criminal defense attorneys here at the law offices of Spar Bernstein, along with Brad Bernstein. They spoke about the fact that if you see ICE walking down, your block and checking in you, what should you do?
Right?
What should you do?
What should you do? You
Just-
just keep walking.
Okay, what if they walk up to you
Keep walking.
and they ask you for documents and all of that?
What happens if David Squeeze Annakie walks up to you and asks you for documents?
Oh, so that's the same thing that
It's the same
happened.
thing.
Okay, say
You have as much power.
Say GFU.
Yeah, right.
But just don't verbalize
right,
it.
Right, you have the same power as.
Oh, you know what that means, right? Good for you, right?
Good for you. Oh, you want my documents? Good for you.
Yeah, good
Good for you.
You know what?
Good
for you.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. Good
GFU.
for you. Yeah.
Oh,
All
good
right.
for you.
Good for you. All right.
Good for you. You want my documents? All right. Let's go to Andre.
Andre.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. I have my cousin. She's in America. She's up here on a student visa. Her grandmother filed for her, but the paperwork are coming through. She have to go back to Jamaica to do the paperwork, or she could do it from here.
Who's filing for her?
Her grandmother. She filed for her, she and her mom from 2009, but her grandmother get the response the other day
How old is
saying
she?
that
How old is she?
she's 19, but she had filed for before she had reached 19, from she was like teen. That's why she had automatically add to it, because she was a minor.
And she's living here in the United States
Yeah, she's on a student visa, scholarship visa.
on a scholarship visa.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. She would have to go back home to pick up her green card.
She'd have to go back home.
Oh, well, actually, no. If the mother, she can do one of 2 things, actually, because she's in legal status right now. You could, one, wait for mom to come up with her green card, and then she can file for her adjustment of status here. But we got to make sure that mom comes up and she files the adjustment prior to her 21st birthday. And then you still got to make sure you get the green card before the 21st birthday, because if she could age out while the adjustment is pending, that is also very possible. Or alternatively, she can go home and attend the interview with mom if you do the paperwork properly, and they would both get their green cards and come back.
Because she just never want to go down, and then she can't come back.
Let me explain this, okay? She's better off to go down because she can turn 21 by the time mom gets her green card and comes back up. Now, if she's going to go down without the help of an attorney, that would be pretty silly. Okay? So if you want to be assured to return, get a good attorney. Make sure that all your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted. You know, I've told people before I've sent them home, they said, oh my, Brad, I'm really, really nervous to go home. I don't know if I want to do it. You know, and sometimes I think if people are going to have a problem, I say, no, don't go. And other times when I think that their anxiety is getting the best of them and it's really, not an issue, I say to them, if you get stuck, I'll come live with you. That's how positive I am. That's how positive I am.
You go live with
that
people.
you will be fine. Okay? I said just make some room for me. So let her come and see me. I don't want to go and live with her down in the Caribbean, so I will make sure that she comes back.
I think in Mississippi, so I will give her your number so she could contact you directly.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it by phone consultation.
Yeah, because she's living in Mississippi. She's not in New York.
Okay, wonderful. All right, hold on one second. All right.
1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LawLink.
So, we have Kristen here. Kristen, you want to come over? Sure. All right. So, Kristen is part of our family law department. And one of the things that, welcome, Kristen.
Thank
Here
you.
she comes. Watch out on the
I was just going to tell her, I know I took a shower this morning. I used deodorant.
Right.
I even splashed some cologne on. So I don't know why she was all the way over there.
Because we're all smelling the cologne. Maybe it was a little too much of a splash.
So
I think you had a wave of cologne.
I know I'm clean.
Yeah.
I did between the toes, the ears, all of that.
TMI. or as they say, good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you. Good for you. So anyway, Kristen actually is going to be talking about special juvenile immigrants, and it's actually very apropos to what we're talking about today, because special juvenile immigrants, those are cases where if you're a child under the age of 21 living here and you don't have legal status, it is a way that most, not all, but many, I don't want to say most, many children would be eligible to get their green cards. So when you say, what could I do to prevent ICE from bothering me? What can I do to make sure ICE doesn't, come knock on my door? I'm out of status. Special juvenile immigrants, if you're under the age of 21, is one of the best things that you can do for a child who is a minor.
Absolutely.
All right. So now, from an immigration standpoint, I'm going to have Kristen talk about it, because it's our family law department and our immigration department working in conjunction to help people.
It's a two-step process.
It's a two-step process. And when we're talking about special juvenile immigrants, we're talking about children who are out of status, who are under 21. And many of these children can get green cards.
Correct.
In the United States.
Right. And they're self-petitioning also.
Let me repeat that again. Many children who are out of status in the United States, many children out of status in the United States can get green cards as special juvenile immigrants if their cases are handled properly.
Correct.
There are many children under the age of 21 who would qualify for special juvenile immigrant if they had a guardian who's willing to stand up for them.
Correct.
Let me repeat this again, because it bears repeating, Squeeze. Many children under the age of 21 who are living here in the United States out of status, if they have a guardian who is willing to stand up for them, can get their green cards in months as special juvenile immigrants.
Correct.
If you know a child under the age of 21 and they're living in your household, or you know a child under 21 who's living in somebody else's household who is out of status, you should be listening. So let me tell you the rules, and then Kristen's going to take you through what needs to be done. It's really important. Because one of the things we want to do is talk about all the different ways you can get green cards in America. A lot of people don't know this stuff.
Yeah, no, a lot of people responded to the show you and Megan had done a few weeks ago, saying that they had no idea this was even an option.
Right. So that's why we're bringing it back again.
Absolutely.
All right. So if you're a child under the age of 21, and you have somebody who's willing to take you into family court, and you're going to have to prove two things. It's not in your best interest to be reunited with at least one biological parent.
So we're talking to the child and the person that the child lives with.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's not in your best interest to be reunited with at least one biological parent, and The reason is because the child has been neglected, abandoned, injured, abused.
Yep. Unfortunately.
By at least one biological parent. Neglected, abandoned is very simple. You only live with one of the two biological parents. Guess what? You have been abandoned by the other one. Okay? It's pretty straightforward.
It is.
Okay? So basically, any child who is living with one biological parent but not both biological parents, open and shut case.
Right, has been abandoned on some level.
He's been abandoned on some level by a parent. And you go into court, and the adult gets legal guardianship of them.
Correct.
And you get a judge to issue a special ruling that you should not go back to the parent who abandoned you.
Right.
Now that child is free to get a green card in months.
Right.
As a special juvenile immigrant.
Right. And that requires them filing an immigration on their own. They don't need a sponsor. They're
Correct.
self-petitioning. So it's really actually a really good opportunity.
I've seen situations, it's kind of like some people would say, a loophole in the law. But a loophole is a loophole is a loophole.
We'll take it.
We'll take the loopholes.
We'll take it.
We'll take every loophole. I've seen situations, certainly in New York City, where the guardian who went in was also out of status. So, like, say, for example, mom's out of status, mom's living here.
But it doesn't matter.
Right, doesn't matter because the family court judge never asks.
They never ask, not in my experience.
They never ask, at least in New York City. I don't know in Arkansas, they may ask.
I can't speak to other
I
places.
can't speak to other places. They don't ask in New York City what your status is. And we say, you know what? Either the mom or the dad abandoned them. And you become legal guardian of your own child.
Right.
And then the child can get a green card. Or maybe the child's living with the aunt or the uncle, or a friend or a family member, or has no biological parents.
That's more frequently the case.
That's more frequently the case.
Yeah.
So take us through, Kristen.
Sure.
Take us through what is involved in doing a guardianship. It's such a simple process. Was it take 2 months, 3 months?
Yeah, it's very quick.
not adoption.
Yeah. No, it's not adoption. Right. That changes the legal rights, So it's not adoption. It's a guardianship. It's usually for the purpose of this special immigrant juvenile petition, and it's the same as any other guardianship. They're taking on the responsibility of the child to provide for them for finances, for housing, for school, to make sure that they're taken care of, talking to the doctor. So these are things that most people that are taking the child
are doing
anyway.
And how much time is involved for the guardian to actually do this? Is this like really time consuming? You're like, you know what? I like this child. He's living with me or she's living with me, but I don't have time to go through all these.
There's a little bit of, I would say, a little bit of a hassle. You have to get fingerprinted. You have to make sure that you don't have a criminal record, that you haven't been subject to any neglect or abuse findings for any children that you might have had or have been in your care in the past. The court does do a diligent search to make sure that they're not placing a child with someone who's putting them in danger. So you do have to pass through somewhat of a background check.
And then how many times you go to court?
Usually maybe 3 times, depending on the court. Each court's a little bit different, each county. But, I have one in Kings County where we did the first appearance, we got the guardianship. The second appearance, we got the motion for special findings.
So it's like 2 months.
And I would say about, total beginning to end from hiring to being done, about 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months. And then I can tell you from the immigration is 3 to 4 months. So literally in 8 months, you can go from, I have a kid here who's living with me, who's out of status, to that kid has a green card, and you have done something. You have improved the world by one child at a time. You have done something. You have made the world a better place by helping this child than by not. So if you say, how could I improve this world, there's a good place to start.
Absolutely.
That is a good helping children is a really good place to start improving the world.
Very,
and I hope Mr. Trump listens to me when I say that. Okay, for everybody out there who has a child or knows a child or is aware of a child and wants to learn more about this, call Kristen. It would start with Kristen in family law and end with Brad in immigration. Yep. And the telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Surprisingly, it's the same telephone number to get on the radio. Surprisingly, it's the same number to call for immigration. Surprisingly, it's the same number to call for David Moreno in criminal defense. Kristen O'Leary in our family law department, same exact telephone number, Squeeze. It's a shock, but we make it as easy as we can for people. 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465.
1-800-LawLink. 1-800-529-5465. Once again, we have the Family Law Department here. We've got, of course, the Immigration Department. We've got a Criminal Defense Department, Personal Injury. We've got it all here as a full-service law firm.
That's correct.
And what Brad noted about helping kids is an extremely important issue that we have here in the United States, especially with the kids out of status. So we definitely should jump on this.
All right, now I'm going to ask Kristen if you can hang out here. I don't know what the social media questions are going to arise. Maybe there are social media questions on special juvenile immigrants, family law.
Hope so.
Kristen's a divorce attorney as well and family court lawyer, so maybe there's some questions there too. Squeeze, we have a lot of questions here on social media I'd like to get through, and then at the end I'd like to quickly get to page 21.
Absolutely.
How's that work?
Definitely works for me.
Okay,
So
fine.
let's get
Let's
to
go.
social media.
Your passport expires. You're out of status. Do you need your passport for your green card process?
No.
Does it raise a red
But
flag?
you need to show a photo ID.
Okay. The second part of that question is: does it raise a red flag for ICE if you should renew your passport?
No.
Is it better to get married in the U.S. on a B2, B1, or to return to your home country and have your fiance marry you then? Which would be better?
It's not better. It's what's better for you is not better for the next person. You want to remain in the United States, stay here for 90 days, get married here, and adjust your status here. You want to go home and wait home 1 year for a green card and then come back, then do that. Those are your options.
When you're signing and dating the form, can you type the date and then sign the form?
Yes, you can.
How soon can someone put their papers after getting married?
The next day.
What if after you did your interview for your green card, they denied you? Can you change the lawyer?
Yes, you can. And people do that often.
Well, so they could change to our office.
That's shockingly yes. Yeah. 1-800-529-5465.
It happens more often than you
Yes.
think, Kyle. Lawyers mishandling cases than coming for us to fix them. It happens a lot.
If you spend 5 months on your visitor's visa, how soon can you visit again to the States?
My thing is, for every month you're here in the United States, you should be out for more than 2.5 months. So if you were here for 5 months, you should be out at least 12, 14 months before you come back.
I have a friend who is a British citizen and lives in England. How can she go about getting a green card for the USA?
Page 1, chapter 1. I don't know. You got to make an appointment to come see me. I don't know. There's family sponsorships, employment sponsorships, all sorts of ways to get a green card. We would need to interview her and find out a lot more.
On the affidavit of support, would I have to include my husband's kids if they are not on the file and not living in the U.S.?
You have to include every person who lives in your household plus every person that you're filing for.
What is the best alternative to the H-1B visa?
To work, there's a lot of alternatives. There's lots of different work visas. There's O visas, which are people of extraordinary ability. There's P visas, which are people who are part of an entertainment group. There's E visas, which are investor visas, if you want to start your own company, and it doesn't require $1 million. I've done investor visas for people, $50,000, $75,000 investment. There are H3 visas, trading visas, J1 visas, like internship type of visas, exchange student visas. There's all sorts of things, all sorts of different work visas. We got to see what you may or may not qualify for.
My friend is married to a U.S. citizen, but he does not want to adjust the status of her 13-year-old child until my friend finishes school. Can my friend's aunt do the SIJ for the child?
If one of the parents have abandoned, you don't have to show both parents abandoned. Just one parent abandoned or neglected, and whoever's doing the guardianship, the child would have to live with.
Be in their care, absolutely. So if the child's in the aunt's care, then there shouldn't be an issue.
Right.
Do you guys do citizenship applications over the phone, and how? I live in Connecticut.
Yes.
What was the phone number?
1-800-529-5465.
If a father mentions his children and did not file the document, what can be done? Document.
If a father filed what?
If a father mentions his children and did not file the document, what can be done?
The father mentions his children and didn't file the document.
Like
what can be done?
Like he mentioned he had children but didn't put them on the form.
We're not exactly sure. Squeeze, do you have any idea what this man is asking?
No.
No. Okay, next question. You would have to be more specific.
Okay, looks like our final question on my end. I have a friend that lost his I-94 number. Would that be difficult to adjust his status since he's married to a U.S. citizen?
As long as you have the visa and the stamp in your passport, it should not be difficult. And that leads me right to a company called USA Credit Repair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
That's a good segue, yes. A good segue for a company called USA Credit Repair. We talked about USA Credit Repair in the past.
Have we?
Yes.
Have we?
We have. And I'd like to say something about USA Credit Repair.
What do you want to say?
Okay? Everybody out there should fix their damn credit.
Yep.
Because if you have bad credit, it just makes you bad all around. It does. It makes you really bad.
It makes things really difficult for you.
It's difficult, all right? And then, like Kristen, you're a single woman, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. If you came across this man and he said, hey, Kristen, you know, I really like you a lot, but, you know, my credit's 591, would you want to date him?
I would say, excuse me, I have to go to the ladies' room.
You would
And I
not
would not return.
You would not date somebody with a
What if,
591.
No,
what if
because I
he's
think
a
it just
very
shows that-
handsome, wonderful, good-looking guy,
She would
charming,
ghost.
you
There's
know?
always
Straight up
exceptions, Squeeze.
ghost
But
someone.
no,
Yeah.
you know, it makes you someone like me. I'm going to be 30 years old, so it's something I'm considering, looking for a future, someone who's responsible financially. I don't want to get involved with someone who doesn't take themselves seriously, doesn't
Right.
take finances seriously, savings, things like that.
But if he's really good looking, maybe you'll hang out for the night.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, USA Credit Repair. If your credit's below 700, they will start fixing every problem on your credit report for $99.95. For only $99.95,
Why is it 95 and not 99?
it's $99.95.
Or why is it just not 99?
You told me $99.95.
Where did 95 come from?
I don't know. That's what I thought it was. Okay, we're saving you 95 cents. Every penny matters. It's $99, and they will start fixing your credit right away. And we're not talking about, oh, we'll make one or two things here. They go full force from the moment you pay them.
You know what, Brad? Not to interrupt you. 99 people will pay only $99.
No, every person who calls today will pay $99.
Why every person? What do you think?
Every
We don't have the staff to handle that.
Every last person who calls today will pay $99.
How are we gonna
Because
handle
that's what I announced at 9 a.m. I didn't know it was only 99 people. So every last person who calls, I can't take it back.
Oh, my God.
Every last
You know the problem is? Everybody wants to talk to me. Squeeze. I heard you and Brad. I heard Kyle. I heard Kimberly. I heard Danielle. I heard everybody. I want to talk to just you. They've been calling your office and getting my personal number.
Have they been?
I
didn't
swear
know. That's
they
right.
have.
That's right.
Wow.
They
Let me
try to find
give
you
the
now.
let me give the telephone number for $99 as $99. They're going to start
They're going to dispute everything.
dispute every last thing on your damn credit report.
Yep.
Fix your damn credit. Kristen O'Leary will not go out with you with a 591 credit report. I can tell you
I'm
that.
760, by the way.
Squeeze. I've already set up a candlelit dinner for you guys.
Thank you
Saturday
so
night.
much. As long as you're
All
paying
right,
for it,
yeah.
we're good.
Kristen is just going to have guys
But I
that
got good
come up
credit.
to her and be like,
Hey,
752. Okay.
All right, let me give you the
Fix my credit.
let me give you the telephone number for USA Credit Repair right now. The telephone number is 1-800-USA-7177. 1-800.
Give them the easy number, Brad. The 646. So this way you can distinguish it.
The telephone number for USA Credit Repair is 646-200-5881. That's 646-200-5881. 646-200-5881. They like to distinguish it because now they know
Who
the
is-
people who call on this number get the
Exactly.
$99 special. Okay? 646-200-5881. 646-200-5881. As Squeeze said, they will dispute everything on your credit report
For
for only $99.
Can't really go
Boy,
wrong.
did I get my ass chewed for the 30 on 30 yesterday. I'm never doing that one again. It's $99. $99. They are going to dispute everything.
And it's only for 99 people, but you're
It's
saying
not.
for everybody.
It's saying for everybody. If you call today.
If you call today.
Correct. 646-200-5881. 646-200-5881.
To dispute everything on your credit.
Everything on your credit.
Only $99 to start.
Correct. 646-200-5881. 646. This is the number for USA Credit, people. Because I'm saying it, and I don't think people recognize the number that I'm giving them.
You got
the number that I'm giving them is for USA Credit.
Yep.
This is the can I say the greatest credit counseling company in the history of the world?
Took them 8 years to get there.
In the history of the world. All right, when they write the book on the history of the world and they come to credit counseling,
USA Credit Repair will be there.
USA Credit Repair is going to be up there. It's going to be up there with Napoleon. It's going to be up there with Genghis Khan. It's going to be up there with Julius Caesar.
Brad Bernstein.
And it's going to be USA Credit Repair. 646-200-5881.
Only $99.
Only $99.
Just for the people who called today.
I'm going to lose my voice with this USA Credit thing. 646-200. I get more excited with USA Credit.
I know. I'm like, what the hell?
646-200-5881. 646-200-5881. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. Of course, Squeeze will remind us on page 23 on tomorrow at 9 a.m. But for Spar and Bernstein, the telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. That's for immigration. Trump's, you heard it. Read the Daily News. We're not making this stuff up. Trump's on the march.
Yep.
For Kristen O'Leary, special juvenile immigrants, 1-800-529-5465.
All these departments just call 1-800-LawLink.
1-800 Criminal Defense, 1-800-529-5465. Personal Injury Construction, 1-800-529-5465. And we got to get out of here.
The proceeding was informational only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easily remembered, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LawLink. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LawLink. That's 1-800-529-5465.